and thank you for joining the Informs Tableau workshop. Today I'm going to first introduce Tableau and then show how to create an interactive dashboard in Tableau from scratch. We will first learn about Tableau history, what makes it stand out, and different products it offers, and last but not least, creating an example dashboard from scratch. Tableau is a business intelligence and interactive data visualization software that was established at Stanford University's Department of Computer Science by 3 scientists between 1997 and 2002 and was officially founded in 2003. In 2019, the company was acquired by Salesforce, and Tableau has been recognized as the leader in the business intelligence from 2012 to 2021. What makes Tableau stand out is its ease of use, compatibility with various data sources, from files to data servers to cloud, and its powerful interactive dashboards with just a few clicks. Dashboard's ease of use comes from the fact that it has a drag and drop interface. This feature helps to perform tasks like sorting, comparing, and analyzing very easily and fast. Also, the built-in geographical data recognition, as we will see in the example, allows the different geographical level of aggregation of the data at the country, state, or up to postal code level. This screen shows that the wide variety of data that Tableau supports, and this variety support is offered in the paid version. Tableau is popular, has all the popular file types like Excel, text, JSON file, also different servers, data servers like SQL Server and Oracle, and cloud-based data repositories as well. So Tableau offers mainly five different products for customers to choose from. Tableau Desktop is the backbone of creating dashboards, and 80% of the whole workflow and development is done there. It requires license and can publish to the company server. But Tableau Public is the free version of Tableau Desktop with limited features. Firstly, your data and dashboard will be made public to all the Tableau users. Second, there is limitation in the number of data rows, which is up to 1 million rows, and you can only connect to a specific file types like Excel and CSV files, and cannot connect to data servers or data clouds. Regardless, Tableau Public is a great resource for learning Tableau, as it provides all the major functionalities and it is free, so you can showcase your work publicly online. In this tutorial, we are also going to use Tableau Public, and I will show you how to download and install it shortly. After having built the dashboard, you have different options to share your dashboard. Tableau Reader, Online, and Server are different options for distributing your dashboard to the end users. This is the Tableau Public Discover page where popular dashboards are showcased. You can find a lot of inspiration of how to make your dashboard look nicer by checking these dashboards. Of course, all data published here is non-commercial and public, so no private company information should be used here. Let's learn some of the Tableau terminology. This is an example of Tableau workbook. It consists of toolbar, sidebar, cards, and shelves, one or more sheets, and the view. So let me show you these parts. So this is the toolbar, like many other softwares. This is the sidebar, and these two parts, this is cards and this is shelves. These are where you can drag and drop your data fields, and this is where the visualization is shown. This is the view. So this is a single sheet worksheet, and you can merge the worksheet, combine several of these views or worksheets together to present your whole story as a dashboard, as we will see. So to begin working with Tableau, we need to connect Tableau to a data source. The data set that we are using today is from Realtor.com data on the US housing market since 2016. You can download it either from the Kaggle link or the Realtor.com page that I will send you. This is the final dashboard, and you can see it consists of 4 visualizations that we will see how to build. Okay, let me share the links with you if you want to download the data set. You can use this link to download the data set. I'm going to use one of the CSV files. So can you see the data set? Okay. If you can see my screen, can you confirm? Okay. So this is where you can download the data set. You just simply download it from here. It is going to be a zip file, and we are going, it is a list of CSV files that we are going to use. But before that, if you have not already downloaded and installed Tableau Public, you can simply use this link that I'm going to send in the chat to do so. So in order to work with Tableau Public, you need to first download the app and also create an account, because only people with the account can access the server, the public server, and publish to that. But the installation is pretty straightforward. So once I have the data, I'm going to I have already extracted it here, but these are the files inside. So I'm going to work with this new file. And since I have already installed Tableau Public on my laptop, I'm going to open it, and you will see, since this dashboard, I'm going to make it from scratch again. This dashboard I have already created and published to the public server. So this is what we are going to create. Okay, so this is what we are going to create, and let me start from the beginning. So CSV file is a text file, so you need to select text and select the data file that you want, which is this one. Once you select your data source, a new workspace is going to be created with that data that you have created. The data can be anything, like I mentioned, but in the public version you have limited access, so you can only open text files or Excel files. So here we are opening CSV file through text. Okay, so this is the preview of the data you see in a table. We have 40 fields and 3,500 rows of data. Once you click the worksheets, you see that all of the data in your tables, all of the data in your columns are already imported in into the sheet, and you can simply drag and drop them into columns, rows, or into these marks or filters. So there are different, each of these play different roles that we are going to see. Let's see the first visualization. So, okay, for the first visualization, I'm going to create the average the average monthly price of the US. So, but the problem is that the date column that I have, it's is not in the good shape. It's not in the date format. As you can see, the Tableau is smart enough to understand the type of the data. So all these with the hashtag in front of them are numerical types, and these two with the word, the icon in front of them are the geographical types. So these are, because of the names, based on their names, Tableau has figured out their type. But for this one, it should have been the date, but because of the bad format, it is not figured out by Tableau. So what we need to do, we need to first transform it into the date type. To do that, simply you can create a calculated field over it. How you do, you just use this arrow here and go to create and the calculated field. And so we want to parse this data. So it's the date parse, and you can see the format of the date is 4 numbers for the year and 2 numbers for the month. So it's 4 Y's and 2 M's standing for year and month, and we need to have a string. Since it is a numerical, the current format is numerical, we need to turn it into a string and then read the column of data inside it. And let's name it date. So with that, we have the corrected format of the date. So let's just, to throw out the added column field of data, you can simply move it outside of the space, and I add the clean version. So once you can see, this is a date format from the icon in front of it. It is now recognized as date. And the good thing is, when the fields are recognized as their actual type, you can aggregate based on different levels of representations. Like we can aggregate by year, by month, and same thing applies to the geographical data. So for example, let's say if we had the average listing price, you can aggregate it by summing, by taking the median, by averaging, by different approaches. Here I'm averaging. So this is the average through the years. But what I want to do, I want to show the bar plot. So this is the bar plot by aggregating annually. But let's say if you wanted to make it into month, then it would be, you could make it to the whatever scale of aggregation that you want. I want to make it more clear. I'm going to distinguish the months by color and by with that, you can also see the seasonal effect. So if I make this continuous, then I can have a range of colors assigned to this, so that you can simply see that starting the year from January, you see there most in all of the years we have an upward trend starting from the January. So this is a good kind of pattern that we can recognize very quickly. So this is the first visualization, which is the US mean monthly price. And you can change the title and the format of the title simply by double clicking on that. And so let's rename it to mean monthly price across the US. And you can simply format it to make it look better. Okay. So, and also this is not what we want to visualize. Let's change this to average and this to date. Okay, this is the first visualization already completed. Now let's go to, if there is no question, I move forward to the next visualization. Okay, so the second visualization I want to show is on the map. Like I said, it is one of the advantages of Tableau to recognize the geographical data very quickly. So if I just drop the state, which is a geographical field of data, into here, you see that it already recognizes it as the geographical data and plots it onto the map, which is very convenient. And if you wanted to do the same thing in other softwares like Python, I have shown you before, for those of you who have attended the workshops before, it is going to take a lot more complicated steps. But here, just by dragging the state into here, you see all the information is recognized. So let me make it cleaner by just removing the layers. So I just want to see the US map. So I'm going to unselect these other stuff. So, and another thing that I don't like is that I want to just zoom into the US states here. So I'm going to filter out these two states. But before that, let me give it a color. So the color on the price. Okay, and then let's filter by state. So when you drag and drop into the filters, so let me show again. You can drag and drop into the filter and select what states you want to show. So I want to show everything except for Alaska and Hawaii. So you see now that I have the more zoomed in version. So now let's see what we can do. So here I can change the aggregation level to average, and I can change the choice of color, one popular choice is red, black, diverging, reversed. This is the choices that I had picked for my visualization before. So let me do another thing on the map layers. I'm going to turn off the selection on of the states. So right now we have this map that shows the average listing price of across all the listings over all the time since 2016 for different states. So for example, for California, the average listing price over time is higher than 1 million. So this is what this map is showing. One thing that you can do, one interesting thing, is that if you take control and drag, you will make a copy of the map. So you have the same thing copied into horizontally. So what you can do with that is you can, for example, let's change this. Instead of having the average this time, I want to show the total listings. So this time, this is automatically selecting circles. But I could have done it myself, but this is automatically selecting circles. So you can change the color of the circle. I change it to blue and give it a border and decrease the opacity a little bit. So, and one last step is if you make the axis dual axis, you are going to merge the two maps together so that you are representing the two data into one visualization, which is more convenient and compact. So this is the result. So with the colors in filled out colors, we have the average listing price, and with these circle sizes, we have the total listing counts, or the total number of listings over time. So we can have both of them represented in the same map. So one more thing to do is you can also, if it is not fitting very well, you can decrease the size or increase the size, but it is not going to be looking so good. So I'm going to keep it smaller. So, but right now we don't have the name of the estates as the label. So we can add them simply to the label. We can add the estate ID to the label. But since the estate ID is in the lowercase format, I'm going to create an uppercase with this, doing the same thing. I'm going to create a calculated field, which is making the upper and let's change the name to, okay. You see, by double clicking, I dragged it over here. This is an alternative way, but what I meant to do was to edit. So I'm going to edit and name it estate abbreviation. And then instead of labeling by estate ID, I'm going to label by estate abbreviation. So you now see it is uppercase. So this is it. So let's change the title. The title should be average listing price and total listings. because we are representing both of them on the map. And let's format it to be center aligned and Times New Roman for the font. And we can also change the name of the sheet over here to on map for us to recognize it later on. So let's move on to the next visualization. For the next one, I want to show you how to create a state level scatter plot to see how distributed the data is for each of the states, because we have already aggregated at the monthly level, we have aggregated and averaged things like that, but how is the distribution? So to do that, I first need to I want to make the average listing price into the columns. If I just use the state, let me okay. Let me change the I want the states to be in the rows. Or the columns. I think color look good. And then I want to show the average, not the sum. Going to measure and change it into the average. So this is going to aggregate by default, but what if we don't want to aggregate? And if you go to the show me, you see different suggestions of what you can visualize with this data. So if I go to a scatter plot, it is going to show the average listing price of the different estates as the scatter plot. So each of these points are each one of the estates. So this is not what I'm looking for. I want to have the scatter plot per estate. So what you need to do is to go to analysis and take out unselect the aggregation. So once you unselect the aggregation and add the estates into the columns, you will see that you have the data unaggregated, and now you can divide it based on each of the estates and show the scatter plot. So now you can sort the scatters like this with just simply the sorting icon. But one thing that I don't like about this is that it is too small, because I'm plotting all of the states. What if we wanted to only show top 10 estates? To do that, you can simply filter by the estates and select, instead of going to general and giving it a list that you can select or unselect, you can go to the top and you can select the top 10 or any number based on your choice. Over here, what makes most sense is top 10 based on the average listing price. So once I do that, you see that I have filter out to the top estates. And another thing that I want to do is to make it colored by the estates. And let me also change this color. I'm going to edit this to red. Okay, so now I have something very similar to what I wanted. The visualization is giving me the scatter plot for each of the states for the top 10 states. This is not very informative. I'm just going to hide it, and I'm going to change the title of the worksheet to it's the range comparison is price range comparison between the states. And also make this more informative. Okay. So this is looking good. I don't want this legend. It's not very important. So this is the final visualization of comparing the price range. So this was the third visualization. Let's go for the last one. So what else we can do with this data? If you go to the Show Me tab, you can be inspired about how you can visualize each of these, how you can use each of these graphs based on your data. For example, if I want to make an area chart like this, I need to have a date data field, and I need to have at least one measure. So let's see how I can do that with my data. I have a date, so if I use my date, and then if I add my, let's say, I add my date to my column, and then I will add my total listing to the rows. So it is showing the lines, but I can simply select a different type of graph which I wanted, which is the area chart. So this is just simply aggregating the total number of listings for each of the years. But what if I wanted to break it down into states? In that case, I could have added it into the colors. If I simply drag and drop into the colors, you see that I have all of the states listed here, which is a little confusing. So similar thing with what I did before, I can filter out to show only top ones. So here, if I go to top and select only to show the first 6, the top 6, you see this is the result. One thing that I don't like is the color. I like to make it colorblind. You need to assign the plate, and then it will going to use the plate, and then I'm going to increase the opacity a little bit. Okay, so this is what I have, and this is over here. You see the legend of the states that are in the top of the list, and this is also not important, and I will change this to listings over time for total, or I think listings over time, and format it the same way. Okay, good. And okay, now I have all of the visualizations that I wanted. So what I need to do now, this add here, this is new worksheet. You can add a new worksheet using this icon. If you want to go forward with your data dashboard, it means that you already have created the visualizations that you wanted and you are good to go. So I am going to create a dashboard. You can create as many dashboards as you want, and over here you see the list of the worksheets that you have created with their visualization. And okay, so let's rename this to also listings over time. Okay, so that we can recognize it easier. So I have all of my visualization over here. One thing you can do, you can change the width and height of the your dashboard to the size that is good for your case. I will use the 1300 by 900. Okay, and you can simply drag and drop your worksheets over here, and you can just make your dashboard like that. What I like to do is to first, I want to add my map, and then you can, let me make it a little smaller so that you can better see what everything in the page. Okay. So then you can use these objects too. These objects are going to divide the page to your purpose. For example, you can divide it vertically like this, and I will add listings over time to here. Or I can then let's see. Okay, I can add the monthly price visualization over here. So you simply drag and drop, so you can see how easy it is to work with Tableau, basically because of this drag and drop functionality. And this is the last visualization that I want to add. I'm going to add it on the side. So now you see that I have mostly everything that I had on my initial dashboard that I showed you. There are some small things remaining. For example, I want to add a title to here. This is US housing market trend. Let's make it bigger and centered. Okay, and make it a little smaller. Okay. Another thing that you can do, so you see everything, all of the legends and filters, we have only legends. So you see everything coming from different visualizations are stored over here. But it's a better idea to make them into a floating object and then have them alongside their visualization, because it is only for this visualization. So I'm going to add a horizontal space over here, a smaller one, and I'm going to move the legends to that. Okay, same thing for this one. This one is not really necessary, so we can remove it from dashboard. Or for this one, let's turn it into floating, and this is for this visualization. I put it alongside the item itself. So, and also we don't need this, it's self-explanatory. Same thing for this total listing count is related to this one, this map. So I just drag it over here. So once I have done that, you see that this is almost done. One last thing that I want to show you is how you can create filters. If I wanted to create filters based on, let's say, date. Let's say I wanted to only see the scatter plot after some specific date. One way that you can do that, you can go to the worksheet over here by clicking the icon, and you can add date to your filter. And once you add it to the filter, nothing happens. You need to click show filter. So you have the filter here now, and you can filter the data based on the range of the date. So I'm filtering it based on the range, and you see how it changes everything. So let me go back to the original version. And then for this filter to be applied to all of the other visualizations that are coming from the same data source, what you need to do, you need to go to apply to and use all using related data source. So if I do that, then whatever filter I apply here is going to be applied to the other visualizations as well, which is the thing that I wanted to do. So let's show the filter here. The filter that I just made is based on date. So it is let's do this. Okay, so if I filter this out, you will see that it is going to change all of the visualizations, not just this one, but also the scatter plot. And so, for example, you see that we only have data coming from 2019 instead of 2016. So this is going to be applied over all of the data. Okay, so I hope it's clear now how this is working. And let me turn it into floating and move it here because it is, I want to let's place it here. Okay, we can add other filters based on different fields of data. For example, let's say I wanted to filter out based on specific states. So to do that, let's go to this worksheet. To go to the worksheet, you can simply hit this icon. So if I come to this worksheet and I add the, let me add the state abbreviation, then I can select use them all or select from list, add them. So if I select everything, it is not going to change anything in the visualization. I'm going to again select it to be shown, and you can change the type of the filter by different options of the filter. So I don't want to have a long list like that. I'm going to turn it into drag into the drop down, to a drop down list like this. So, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this to the context because I have already applied a state abbreviation in the filter. I want to, and there is a conflict between filtering previously done into the state and in this one. I want to give it a precedence. So I'm going to add it to the context. In that way, what is going to be happening to this state abbreviation is going to have a more importance. So let's see how it works. So if I come back to the dashboard and select the filters I just made, so you see it's showing it here. I don't want it to look like this. Obviously, I'm making it into the floating, and I'm going to move it over here and change it into the drop-down list. Okay, so now you see if I unselect everything and then start selecting, so I didn't yet changed it to apply to other dashboard, other visualizations, so you can see it is only impacting the map. But what if I had made that change? If I come back here and turn this filter to apply to all the visualization coming from the same data source, in that case we will see that it is going to affect all of the visualizations. So you see everything is changed based on the filter. So if I any item that I select, so and in order to clear the filter, you simply use this icon with the red cross on it. I'm just clearing all the filters applied so we can see the final dashboard. So one last thing, you see that this filter has override this visualization. The reason why is that we use the same column for this filter. So to correct that, I'm going to apply the filter based on the other state column and top 10. Okay, now you see that it is okay, because same thing goes for this one. Because I made the new filter based on the state abbreviation and it was already applied in their filter in the visualization, it was overwritten completely. So I'm going to add it once again and I'm going to select the top 10. Okay. Let's clear the date filter. Okay, this is it. This is the final dashboard that we wanted to create. I would be glad to answer questions. We are running out of time, so I don't want to explain further. But there are I hope this introduction helped you see how easy it is to work with the Tableau, and simply using drag and drop you can create very powerful visualizations.